Hello, my name's Yannette, and today we're going to be talking about studying abroad. I have done two separate study abroad programs with two different organizations, taken two different classes with different people, and I want to talk about their differences because it's not something I expected with my study abroad. I kind of thought that they were all the same, but with the two different programs came different experiences, and I really enjoyed them both, but I'm just going to highlight the different ones so that you can make a better informed decision of which study abroad you want to go to. This video is going to be mainly about my study abroad in Greece, but keep an eye out for my second one. It'll be about my study abroad in Barcelona. I'm going to be talking about first the organization, why I chose it, how I chose it, all of that. I'm going to be talking about the academics, how many classes, how many hours, and what the classes were like. And then third, I'm going to be talking about the places that we went. All right? Awesome. I did my Greece study abroad with TENSES. TENSES stands for the Tennessee Consortium for International Study. It's an agency or organization more here in Tennessee that helps promote study abroad. It's mostly connected to community colleges like Pellissippi and Chattanooga State, which is where I went for my associates. I chose TENSES because it was really the only organization that I saw advertised on campus that did study abroads. I think today there are more organizations on campus and there are more faculty-led programs, but when I was there really wasn't that much. So that's why I chose TENSES, and I chose Greece because I had friends who went to other places like Ireland, England, and places like that. And although those are places I want to go, I knew that I wanted to go somewhere where the culture was completely different from whatever I had here in the States, and I wanted someplace where there was like a different language, and I just really wanted to be submerged into a different culture. The program that TENSES has is for 22 days, so about 3 weeks, and we would be going to different parts of Greece. We didn't go anywhere like any of the big places like Mykonos, Crete, or Santorini, although those are places I do want to go later in the future. We only went to Athens, Delphi, Patras, Toulon, and there were a couple other cities like Neflion and islands like Hydra and Seftus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that one right, but those were all the places we traveled. We had 10 days of class, and each class was 3 hours long. So in total, we had 30 hours of contact learning, and then we had a 3-hour final. So in total, it was about 33 hours, which is how many hours you would get in a normal semester-long class. The classes were very long, but because of the structure, we were able to have lots of conversation and discussion, and I honestly think I learned more in my class abroad than I do in my regular semester-long classes, just because I made the connections of like, this is what we're learning in class, and if you look outside the window, you see how they were influenced and how you can make these connections in real life and in real time. So there were 3 courses that you could take. The first one was a world literature class. This is the one that I was in. There were about 5 or 6 of us total. We called ourselves Little But Fierce or something along those lines. There was a comp class. I can't remember if it was comp 1 or comp 2, but there were 2 students in there. And so a lot of the times we would combine our classes if we were talking about the same topics or if we were reading the same stories. There was a mythology class. This one was a lot larger, I think, because mythology is very popular, and studying mythology in Greece is kind of amazing. I couldn't take this class because it was a class I had already fulfilled. So throughout the whole semester, we did a lot of reading, or throughout the whole summer, we did a lot of reading. I honestly don't think I can name all of the things we read. Just like some quick highlights: Canterbury Tales, the Odyssey, Epidus. Um, there was a sermon on a hill. I can't remember what the hill was called. Um, the Apology of Socrates. Just a whole bunch of different stories that we had to read, and it was really difficult. I'm not going to say it was easy. The class was definitely not easy, but I think because of the influences I had around me, it made the class easy. It made me want to continue learning. The best way I can describe this trip in Greece was as a road trip. Let's get started talking about that one a little bit more. As I said before, it was 3 weeks, 22 days in Greece. We spent 5 days in Athens. There was 3 days of travel between Delphi and Patras, and then the remaining 10 days were in Toulon. And there were 2 travel days. So about a month before we left for Greece, there was an orientation meeting that we had to go to. This wasn't just the Greece program, but all of the other programs within Tensis. And so during this orientation, we talked about things to do, things to bring, what not to bring, what we're going to learn, and we got a chance to meet all the other people that are in our program. And it was here that, you know, they told us what books to bring and what we were going to be learning. And so we had about a month before we left to read some of the excerpts and some of the stories that we were going to be reading abroad. So that was nice. We paid our program fee to Tensis, and then under Tensis bought all the plane tickets. So we were all going to be on the same plane together. We were all going to travel together. This is why I said it was like a road trip. So we met at the airport, and we all had to meet at a specific time. It was about 3 or 4 hours before the flight left. And then we took our flight from Nashville to Philadelphia, and then from Philadelphia to Athens. Overall, I think it was 15 hours worth of travel. But then once we got to Athens, it was 11 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and we were all very, very tired. But something that they told us was we couldn't sleep, and it wasn't because they didn't think we were tired or they just wanted us to suffer. It was just so that we could get used to the time difference, which I'm very thankful that they made us do that. Keeping us awake really helped us get adjusted quick to the time difference. We were all put into our different rooms. I shared a room with 2 other girls. So it was me, Nicole, and Heather. That's how we started our trip in Athens. I really enjoyed Athens. Athens was great. We saw Acropolis, the Parthenon. We went to museums. We had a lot of gyros. There was a fish spa that a couple of us went to. A fish spa is where you put your feet in these tubs of water with fish. It was an experience for me. But I dipped my feet in, and then they ate my feet. Or they ate the dead cells on my feet. So they did end up making my feet pretty smooth. Oh, my favorite part about Athens was movie theater, and I am a sucker for movies. I love movies with a passion, and there was this one theater that we found that was an outside theater, and we ended up seeing Moonlight underneath the moonlight. You could see the Parthenon and Acropolis just like across the way. It was an incredible experience. And then after Athens, we journeyed on a kind of a tour bus to Delphi for about a night. And Delphi is where the oracle lives. Delphi is kind of like in the mountains, so it was a little, not dangerous, it was a little weird getting up to because there were lots of curves and turns, and it was up a hill, and then we had to go down the hill or down the mountain, but it was really beautiful. And then after Delphi, after that one night in Delphi, we went to Patras, and Patras is kind of near where the first Olympics took place. So that's what we saw there, and I think there were some more museums, and we had a couple more classes. After Patras and Delphi, we finally made our final stop in Tulum. Tulum is where we were going to stay for the remainder of the trip, the last 10 days. And Tulum is kind of like a small city on the edge of Greece. I'll see if I can pull up a map here. But Tulum was just like maybe a 45-minute from Neflion, and it was close enough where we took a cruise one day to Hydra and Festus. These are two islands, and I really enjoyed Hydra. Hydra is kind of what I thought Greece was gonna look like. It had all the white walls, lots of blue, and those pretty flowers. But Tulum was also really great. We were able to spend lots of nights just walking up and down the street, having gelato, and just talking about our experiences and talking about life. And also it was right next to the beach, so how could you not love it? Greece was the first place I did my first study abroad. It was the first country I've ever flown to, and it was an amazing, amazing place.